All right, so a couple of things we want to do before we get started taking any measurements or making any adjustments is, for one, go ahead and break out that operator manual and check what your tire pressure specifications are, because tire pressure being to spec is very important to making sure that our deck reads the right measurement. So for instance, on this E100, our fronts need to be at 14 PSI and our rears need to be at 10 PSI, and we've already done that. So therefore, doing this job, go ahead and break out that tire gauge, check those tire pressures, and make sure and get those up to spec so we know we're getting the right measurements. Second of all, guys, you're going to want to break out your deck leveling gauge and also a ratchet with 15mm deep socket, or if you don't have a ratchet and socket, go ahead and break out that 15mm wrench, as that's what you're going to use to make all the adjustments on the deck here. Now, next thing and first step to the leveling process is we are going to want to pick our desired cutting height here, or measuring height. So over here on the side, we're going to go ahead and pick whichever range we want to measure at. For today, I'm going to set the deck here at 3.5. So therefore, when we're taking our measurements with our deck level gauge, we're going to be looking for that 3.5 measurement. Step 2 is going to be taking our first measurement. And since we started over here on the left side of the mower, we'll go ahead and take our first measurement over here. Now keep in mind, we do have our height set at 3.5. So when we take this measurement, that's going to be what we're looking for. So we're going to reach under here and find our blade and get it spun out here to the outside. That way we can take that measurement easily there. We'll slide our gauge underneath and find that blade tip. Make sure that's making contact right there on the tip, and then pull that out. All right, and looks like, guys, we are reading right at 3 1/8. So we do need to start going up. So what I'm going to do is take my ratchet and socket here, and I'm going to have that as if we were tightening a bolt going in the clockwise direction, and I'm just going to start making that adjustment. Go a few turns there, and then we'll go ahead and take that measurement again. All right, look like we are at about 3 1/4. So we'll keep going on up. And take our measurement again here. And we're getting fairly close there. Now, rule is we want to be within 1/8 of an inch. We're not quite there yet, so we're going to adjust just a little more. That should get us where we need to be. All right, guys, and after those adjustments right there, we are right at 3.5. Now, from here, we're going to go ahead and move to the other side, take that measurement, and make that adjustment. All right, over here on the right-hand side, same process. A little easier to see as we can get the chute up and out of our way. We've got a block here that's holding that chute up, keep it out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing, spin our blade out to the outside here, go underneath with our gauge. Go ahead and take that first measurement. And as to be expected, guys, it's way off like the other side was. We're actually less than 3 inches here, so we got quite a bit of adjusting to do. So same thing, I'll go ahead and reach in here with my ratchet and socket. Now, this is the problem that you may run into here, is we are a little too tall to reach in there with our deep socket. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a shorter 15mm, and we'll get to adjusting. All right, we've got our shorter 3/8 drive here, 15, and we'll go ahead and start ratcheting this up and making that adjustment. right, we'll take our measurement again here. All right, so now we're at about 3 1/4. We got just a little ways to go. All right. All right, so right here, we're right in between the 3 3/8 and 3 1/2. Now, the rule of thumb is to be within 1/8 of an inch of the measurement you're looking for. But since we've adjusted this right-hand side and the left-hand side, now we need to go back across and check the left-hand side and go ahead and fine-tune this. So being just a little bit above or below our 3 1/2 mark is okay, because we're probably going to have to make an adjustment on the other side. So we'll go over there now and check that out. All right, so back over here on the left-hand side for the second time, we're going to check and see how much our adjustment on the right-hand side changed our measurement over here. We'll take that first one. And it did, guys. It changed it quite a bit. We're close to back to where we started over here. So this is just a good example of how checking the level of this deck is very important. And you have to check both sides multiple times to make sure that we're in the right spot. So we're going to go ahead and start adjusting up on this side again here. All right, getting pretty close there. We'll just adjust a little more. All right, right there, guys. After that adjustment, we are right at 3 1/2. So now we'll go ahead and go back across, check our right-hand side again, and make any necessary adjustments. Okay, back on the right side here. Once again, we'll start by taking our measurement. It looks like, guys, we're about in the same spot that we left, so we'll go ahead and just make a little bit of adjustment to get us into that 1/8 of an inch, and then we'll run across and check our left side one more time just to be sure. All right, so right there, guys, we're about spot on 3 1/2, maybe just a little above, but we're definitely within that 1/8 of an inch range. So let's go ahead and run across real quick, check our left-hand side, and make sure everything's kosher there. Okay, just to make our final check here, make sure we're good, make sure we don't need any more adjustments over here. We'll go ahead and take that measurement. And right there, guys, we're just a touch above that 3 1/2, almost identical to the right-hand side. So we're within that 1/8 of an inch rule, meaning we are good to go and we are ready to start leveling this deck from front to rear. So we'll move to the right side to do that and go over there now. All right, so now that we've got our deck leveled from side to side, we know that we are right there, right about 3 1/2 from side to side. We want to check our level from front to rear. So what you're looking for here is you're going to spin that blade where it's pointing front to rear. You're going to measure the rear and the front blade tip of that blade. Now what you're looking for is you're wanting around a 3 1/2 measurement in the rear, since that's what we have our measurement set at. Then you actually want your front blade tip to be between 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch lower. And the reason being is this eliminates what's called double cut, meaning that when those blades are turning, they're not trying to cut the blade at the front of the turn and at the rear. They're doing all their cutting with the front of that blade tip, which is why you want it angled down that 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch. So we'll go ahead and jump down here and spin this blade forward and see what we measure. Get that back measurement first here. Now we're actually measuring right about 3 1/4 at the rear, so I imagine we're going to be higher in the front. Okay. So sure enough, we're a little higher. We're a little closer to 3 3/8 in the front. What we really want is we want those to be flip-flopped. We would like I said, our back to be closer to that 3 1/2 and our front to be closer to this 3 1/4 mark. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the front, and there's an adjustment bolt up there that we are going to go counterclockwise, unlike we did here, because we're not trying to lift the front, we're trying to lower it. So we'll go there now. Okay, so right here at the front of the mower, our adjustment screw is going to be right underneath right here. This is connected to the front of the deck with this linkage. Now we're going to be lowering this, so we're going to actually be turning this nut counterclockwise here. All right, so after making that adjustment, we'll go ahead and move back to the side and see where we're at. Okay, so after making our adjustment there at the front, we'll go ahead and check these measurements again. Okay, so we're still just a little over 3 1/4 there at the rear. Now, at the front, we're right about 3 1/8. So we're within that 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch rule. Our front is actually that 1/8 of an inch lower. So we're good to go as far as front to rear here, but one thing we want to do is we want to check the other side, and we also want to go ahead and spin our blade out here and make sure we're still at our 3 1/2 mark that we measured originally from side to side. So we'll go ahead and do that. It looks like we're right there where we were at before. We're just right at 3 3/8. So we'll go ahead and move to the other side real quick, make sure everything's kosher, and see where we're at. All right, so let's see where we measure one last time here to see if we're ready to start mowing. And it actually looks like, guys, here that we've changed a little bit. So we're going to do a little bit of adjusting here. I'm going to be doing some passes back and forth, making sure that we get this thing leveled out. Guys, but just know this is a very tedious job. Takes a lot of back and forth, measuring from side to side, and also front to rear. So I'll go ahead and get that knocked out here so we can be ready to take this mower out to mow. All right, guys. So after numerous passes back and forth, measuring front to rear, we are now measuring 3 1/2 on each side with the blades spun facing out on the sides of the deck. We're also measuring 3 1/4 in the front and 3 1/2 in the rear. So we're following all the rules we need to. We're right at our measurement points where we have our deck height set, and we're also that 1/4 of an inch lower in the front, which is what we're looking for to eliminate that double cut. So we're good to go, ready to start mowing. All right, guys, so there you have it. That's all there is to leveling the deck on the 2020 John Deere E100. Now, as you noticed, guys, it's a very tedious job. A lot of back and forth, a lot of up and down, measuring all those different points. But just keep in mind, it's very important that you're making sure that that deck is level so you can make sure that you're getting that top cut quality that you're looking for out of your John Deere mower. Now, guys, if you're watching this video because maybe you have one of these mowers, or maybe you're looking into one of these mowers, and maybe you need any type of parts, maybe the tools that we use today in this video, I'm going to put a link in the description below where you can get those parts for this E100. And guys, if you have any other John Deere mowers or any other parts needs, make sure to check us out at west-equip.com/parts for all those needs. And guys, if this video helped you out, if you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button and give us a subscribe. Show me some love, as that always helps me out as well. And guys, as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and go buy your parts at west-equip.com/parts.